Welcome to COJONES Icons, and today another very special guest. Actually, we always get special guests on here, but this one is simply the best. He is, of course, Chris Eubank.
Hey.
Chris,
All right.
great to have you on here.
Thank you.
You know, you've always been, I'm a big boxing fan, and, you know, I've followed you over the years. In fact, like I think I mentioned to you earlier, I had a bet on you when you had your first fight with Nigel Benn, and I got the round right, 9th round. So thank you very much for making me a few quid. We all like to earn a little bit from time to time, as you do. This is obviously COJONES Icons, which is all about being brave, being bold, being audacious. Now, from what I understand, you started off in your childhood. You had a difficult childhood, to some degree. You had certain issues which made you, eventually you turned that around and you made good. You obviously became world boxing champion. And what I wanted to know is, how did you manage to harness that kind of willpower to really make it and make something of yourself?
Because poverty was my nutrition. The less I had, the more I wanted. And actually at 16, 17, I had made up my mind that I was going to use that poverty as motivation to get me what I wanted. And I chose boxing as the way to do that. So, in short, if I train more than you, and if I'm honest, if I'm well behaved, if I'm well mannered, if I look up to my elders and take and honor what they say, if I have integrity, if I am dignified, if I'm gentle with people outside of my field, if I'm emotionally intelligent about if I'm emotionally intelligent about what I'm doing, if I live with reason, if I'm always reasonable, which obeys itself, reason obeys itself, then there's no reason why I can't do whatever I want to do. And that is what propelled me to where I was able to get in boxing.
Because I read that you put a lot of your success down to the fact that you had an interesting relationship with your siblings, and you were driven by the idea of being accepted. Am I right?
Yeah.
And so how much of that was when you used to wake up in the morning, run, obviously go for your runs, your sacrificing, which you had to do to become a champion. How much of that was to be a number one in your craft, or how much of it was to actually be accepted by your peers or your family?
No, I mean, you're asking it the wrong way around, or a way which let me put it to you this way. You know, that incandescent rage that I suffered, born of mean-spiritedness within the community and, let's say, certain family members. All of that gave me the desire to want respect. Okay, so that incandescent rage, you can call that drive or fuel. And so
to burn in your journey.
So you pick your vocation, which obviously was boxing in mine. I thought, this is something I can do. I am able to beat the man in front of me because it's an art. And if I learn this art, if I train harder than my opponent, if I run 7 days a week and train 7 days a week, and he trains 7 days a week running and 6.5 days a week boxing, then I should beat him. And by that method of work ethic, I was able to stay ahead of the professional for 10 years. I went unbeaten for 10 years. That drive, which was fueled by that rage of poverty, not poverty of food, but poverty of respect and acceptance by not just my brothers, but the community at large, whoever I spoke to. And you know, I had the girls looking me up and down. Who are you? You're talking to me? You haven't got anything. All of that was the foundation. The foundation of, or the incandescent rage that lived within me. And that was the fuel that actually enabled me to put up with the insurmountable amounts of pain and the letdowns, the failing. There is a particular poem that goes as follows, which puts it into perspective. No, in actual fact, I shan't say that, but there is a particular line what talks about there is no effort without shortcomings. You know, you're going to fail, but don't give up. Keep on trying, keep on trying, keep on going. And I did just that. Whenever I failed, it made me better because I would correct not just one mistake, because I'd pick out other mistakes as well. Could have been because I didn't make it on that 5:30 a.m. run a couple of days within the month. Not only that, perhaps I should have run after school to the gym rather than taking the bus, or run down to get your dinner, run to Manhattan, or run up to the top of the Bronx. So I was always correcting myself and overdoing it.
So you're a great self-motivator from what you're saying.
If you make a mistake, it's great because you will not make that mistake again, or you shouldn't. You should use it as the springboard to progress. And
well, they do say there's no such thing as failure, only feedback. And that sounds like it was kind of your mantra.
Indeed, yes.
But what I'm curious to know, because apart from being a tremendous athlete and a world champion boxer, many people, you actually people who were not boxing fans were fans of you, and that's largely because I would say of your unique personality, your persona, your dress sense. Now, you wanted to be respected and accepted. And it's interesting because many people feel like to be accepted, they have to fit in, and they strive to be the same as others. And yet, here you are, being different to everyone else, dressing different, being a persona. How did you're kind of playing with two things? Was it because you felt like you needed to be accepted, but then on the other hand, you thought, I don't need to be accepted. I am who I am, and so be it.
Look. If you fit in, then you will be like your peers. If you want to be extraordinary, then you have to behave extraordinarily. You can't behave ordinary and expect to get exceptional. So, like I'll explain, like, to the audience. If everybody likes you and everybody says, you know, you're a nice guy, oh, you're okay, then in actual fact, you can't be making any movement in terms of your career, because to make movement, to climb, it usually upsets people. Oh, he's flash. Oh, he's a tosser. Or he's up himself. So when you're hearing that, actually it means you're doing well. You're not doing well when everyone's patting you on the back. Oh, you're a nice guy. You're a nice guy. I always say to people, do not call me a nice guy. I don't think I'm a nice guy. You know, I'm not a nice guy. I'm a proper man. Now, it confused people at the time because effectively I was telling people that I'm an ass. But no, I am a nice guy. In fact, a genuinely nice guy. But all the time you're telling me you're a nice guy, meaning that you're not upsetting people. You see, it's not that I wanted to upset people, but when you make progress, it upsets people.
And that tends to be about them rather than yourself, of course, about their own issues, their own jealousy, their own envy, and self-esteem,
whatever that may be, whatever that may be, because even thinking that is giving it too much power. Keep it to yourself. It's about generating, and you keep on doing well for you.
Did you ever over-exaggerate your persona? Because obviously it was a tremendous attraction. It was very marketable. Or is it just you wanting to be you and to be proud to be you and proud to be different? Because there are many people who can't be either.
No, well, I don't understand being proud to be what? To be different. How was I different?
Well, a lot of people would have said that you dressed in a certain fashionable sense, if you like, and that was just you, wasn't it?
Having the courage to, of your conviction. If you want to do something and you're not defending anybody, if somebody doesn't like the way you dress, that has nothing to do with you, it's to do with them. If you like it, go ahead, look. I mean, I am well aware of the fact that I may have dressed like a buffoon many times. But the fact is, it's because I dared and made mistakes is why I won 6 Best Dressed Man Awards. I may have had to suffer the criticisms or the ridicule of many for the amount of times I would have gone on a red carpet looking like a buffoon. But you learn from your mistakes. I wasn't afraid to make the mistakes. So effectively, for every Best Dressed Man award I won, I probably got laughed at 20 times. But it was worth it.
So are you fully comfortable in your own skin? I mean, obviously, from what you're saying, you wanted to be accepted, respected. Are you fully comfortable with who you are and in your own skin after going through that journey?
Well, I have the accolades. The guys who were criticizing me don't. I'm sure they're saying, well, how did he do that? I'm sure he was a tosser. That's how it goes. You know, if you want to be in your life, if you want to be successful, stay in character and be who you are. You know, if my shoes offends people because it is turquoise, in one light it is light blue, in another light it is kind of turquoise. Why should that upset anyone? If my jeans are too skinny, why should it upset anyone? You know, if anything, you know, the truck I used to drive in London all the time, I don't bring it up as much anymore. You know, for anyone who would criticize it, why? It's not against the law. And if anything, others should be liberated by someone who's not afraid to be themselves. You know, so rather than look at the people who would criticize it, rather than look at them, look at the 9 in 10 who will say, huh, he's quaint, or isn't he sweet? Oh, he's some geezer him. Or, you know, he's got some pepper, rather than being someone who reflects nothing. It reminds me.
You must have had some self-doubts as well, Chris. I mean, obviously there's a confident guy here. As you said, you used to act as if, even if you didn't feel it, there must have been some internal negative dialogue, some self-doubts that you had to deal with. And how did you overcome that?
Maybe it's because I was actually born unattractive. So I was already on the ground. Only one way to go, which was up. That may be a flippant comment, but there is some sense to it. You know, talking about people who would criticize, if I'm doing something foul, let me actually say something more motivational. If I'm not doing anything wrong, then why shouldn't I do it? See, I was always able to look at, is what I'm doing wrong? It isn't wrong.
Well, that depends who's judging whether it's wrong, I guess.
No. If I choose to wear these shoes, which, I'm sure, 99 people in 100 wouldn't wear, I'm not doing anything wrong.
Oh, I actually like your shoes.
No, okay, I'm not asking for you to verify that they're okay. I'm saying, 99 people in 100 wouldn't wear them. Sure. It doesn't mean I'm doing anything wrong.
No.
99 people in 100 wouldn't drive my truck, wouldn't carry my cane, wouldn't wear a monocle that they don't actually need. But I'm not doing anything wrong. And if you're not doing anything wrong, continue to do what you want to do. It may not fit. You can't go too far, because then they'll section you. Okay? And you can't be too far behind. So it's about Nelson Mandela, in his inaugural speech, said, "Our deepest fear isn't that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, talented, fabulous, and gorgeous? Well, actually, who are you not to be? After all, you are a child of God. The world cannot be served by your playing small. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking, so others around you won't feel insecure. We were born to make manifest the glory of God which is within us, and when we let our own light shine, we unconsciously allow others to do the same."
Well, Chris, listen, we could talk all day. First of all, before we go, we always have our cojones moment. It's a bit like a crackerjack pencil and pen moment. You probably won't wear this because it's probably not smart enough for you, but this is the limited edition cojones t-shirt.
Can I just say to you that the virtue that I haven't spoken about, that you just said I probably wouldn't wear this. That would mean that you don't think what I have humility, but in essence, to what I've said to you in these last 10 minutes about these virtues, I must have humility. So yes, I would wear your t-shirt, especially especially if it's going to highlight the plight of a particular cause.
Can I be humble enough then to give you something else? Actually, this is a pair of steel balls, which are a metaphor for having the balls and the courage to make it through difficult circumstances, as you've discussed, and to exhibit that in your life and to show people that things are possible when you apply yourself. There's for you, Chris.
That's very kind.
Can I level with you before we go? Can I be honest with you about something?
Sure.
Years and years ago, when you were, well, we're talking about 15, 20 years ago, I used to do boxing impersonations of boxers, including yourself. I hope you're not offended.
It's not that this interview has been. You know what? Again, I'm embracing. Let me embrace.
Okay. So I thought I had to level with you here, Chris, because there was a time when there was a boxer on TalkSport radio going back about 15 years. You may know him. He was like a super heavyweight butterbean. He was on TalkSport, and I phoned up posing as you. I have to hold my hands up, and no one knew any different. And I was poking fun at him, saying anyone with the name Butterbean should stick to soup, and he was starting to get a bit irate, thinking that I was you, which was a little bit cheeky of me. And there was a guy, I think the boxing writer of the Telegraph wrote about it, saying Chris Eubank phoned up TalkSport yesterday and had an argument on air with Butterbean, and it was me. So I just want to say that I hope you're not offended. It was a bit of fun, and if you ever bump into Butterbean at some stage, just say to him, it wasn't me, but I did meet the guy who did it. Chris, listen, it's really nice speaking to you.
Thank you.
It's very nice to meet you and to hear some of your wisdom, and it is wisdom, and I'm sure people will learn by it and hopefully heed some of your clever words.
They're not my words, they are the words of the elders.
The words that you are expressing.
If you're respecting your elders, then you already know. you're listening.
Everybody, it's been great to have Chris on here. Follow us on Twitter at Real Cojones. Cojones TV, subscribe. We'll see you soon.